The long-term impact of future development. Now that's tricky.
Moving forward with the DekkerTeam. Moving forward together with the DekkerTeam.
We've created for you over 367 episodes of the Inside Track, where we share all kinds of insights, insider tips, real estate how-tos, real estate how-not-tos, and really how do we make a house a home and how do we have simply whole living. These shows are available on the go, from your home, your office, anytime you need them.
Yeah, that's a really good thing. Like, what is the long-term cost or benefit of a decision I make today? And I've had lots of decisions in my life, whether it be, do I buy a car? Do I sell a car? Do I invest in a real estate property? Do I hold my money? Do I invest it in other things that we've lost a ton of money in? And future developments affect, I would say they affect both our investments and our lifestyle in the home that we choose.
Right. And so getting that inside view before it's available.
Well, it's available. It's just, did I do the research to find it?
There you go.
Because the stuff that's not available, that's life.
It is.
You can't do anything about that.
Right. So one of the most important things that we advise all our buyers to do when they're thinking of a specific location, because we know that the three things to think about when you're buying real estate are
location, location, location.
Exactly. And there pretty much isn't anybody in the Western world that can't recite that. All I have to say, three things to think about. I had a client do it 2 days ago, buying a house long distance remotely. And I said, well, you know, three things to think about when it comes to real estate. And he goes, yeah, location, location, location. So that is the most important piece, except it's not always as easy to see which things about location are going to have a long-term impact.
Right.
So what do I need to do to figure out as much of that as humanly possible? So the first insight that we offer for everybody that's buying a home is call the municipality, call the city, call zoning, call future development. Like, make a phone call. In Ottawa, it's just dial 311 and ask for somebody that can help you with future development in a certain given area. And one of the things I wish I had known before I bought, say, my house in Greeley when I purchased that home was having an anticipation of what was going to be built in advance of it that was going to shift my drive into the city, and also what was the plans for development that was going to take place behind where I lived that would affect my commute on Highway 31.
Yeah. And one thing I've learned.
You've owned one third? I can't talk.
One of the things I have learned is that whenever there's a development, the infrastructure lags behind. So they put 5,000 homes in Findlay Creek, and then they go, oh, now we got 3 exits onto Highway 31 where it's only a single lane. It backs up for kilometers now, and it's a highway. It shouldn't.
Right.
So
it doesn't work so effectively.
No, it's a little bit of, and we might call it lack of planning. I think they probably planned for it. The problem is lack of funding, usually, more than lack of planning. And we see that every time they do a major development. You know, they put Riverside South in, and it was years on that horrible Line Bank Road until they converted it into 4-lane divided road coming up Riverside, right? It was horrible.
Right. So not only may you be wise to phone the municipality that you're going to be living in, phone the city or the municipality that is surrounding where you're going to be living, because you don't just need micro local information, you need expanded information. So Highway 31, if we're talking about that, you might be calling Winchester.
Yeah, and a lot of things you can find from their 20-year plan or 25-year plan. And sometimes you have to phone to say, where do I get a copy of that? Where can I find it online so I can look up what the future development is? Now, on a micro scale, when we're helping someone buy a property, we're going to look at what's going to be developed in the backyard. Right. What's the zoning around the property? Is it going to be developed in the future with similar type properties, or is it going to be a major difference?
Like a commercial property.
Right.
The number of times I've had people say, I'm so excited about that lot with that development because behind it is going to be trees. Just double check. Double check how long them trees are going to be there. Double check what the plan is for that road. If it feels like the infrastructure is not working, it is likely not going to stay that way indefinitely. So just getting the information in advance of making your final decision or even going looking at all is incredibly wise.
Mm-hmm. Like sometimes you get properties that have well and septic, but sewer is coming. And there may be an added cost to that sewer coming. And it also may benefit you as a homeowner significantly. Another thing that I love to calculate sometimes people don't want to be in the city. They want a country property. They want to have a couple of chickens. They want to have a goat or whatever. You know what I mean? And so now I've got to calculate the cost of the commute, especially if I work in the city. I've got to calculate the cost of maybe I've got to go to 2 cars instead of 1 car. How frequently do I have to replace them because they're getting too many kilometers on them? What's the gas, the insurance, and the maintenance costs for living there? And as long as you've calculated it and you're good with it, then that means you've made a wise decision, right? That's some of the things that I would look at.
And I'd also look at even my cost of living in that house, like the overall running cost. Sometimes I wish I'd known how much that fuel was going to be in that house because it had oil and or propane and really
or electric
and I didn't know how to budget it. And unfortunately, looking at somebody else's bills only gives a very small snapshot and actually quite an inaccurate snapshot because I have lots of clients that live with their houses kept much cooler in the winter than I could live, and others that don't use air conditioning in the summer. And so even, and being at home all day, working from home, all of those costs, calculating them according to your lifestyle, not according to somebody else's lifestyle. I mean, you can't take into consideration increasing costs other than knowing that everything's going to go up because that's the reality. And just really being clear about what your lifestyle costs are, not so connected to what somebody else's are. I wish I'd known to do that. I would have made different housing choices.
Yeah. And even for the last, like we look at interest rates, right? And over the last 10, 15 years, if I'd gone variable rate, I would have saved more money than going fixed.
So much.
But I like fixed because I'm secure in it. But there's so much more than just interest rate. You have to look at what are the penalties for moving, discharging the mortgage, and that sort of thing. So, yeah. You know what I love, though?
What?
I love that when we got married, when it came to big decisions, you said to me, Ken, you can do all the big decisions, and you, Yetta, would take care of all the small decisions.
I did. It was a bargain.
And I'm happy to say after 37 years of marriage, there haven't been any big decisions to make.
And so I've made them all. So we're passionate about growing wealth and making great real estate decisions alongside you. So thanks for journeying together.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker team.